Right. So we were discussing about Jira part. So Jira is what we have initiated. So Jira, as I told you, it's a cloud version where it is available online for 30 days free trial version. So wherein I have signed in on it. So yesterday we have discussed and we have created a project called Fluent Integrated Practice Management. I think this is what the project we have taken, integrated project management. So wherein these are the features which we have for this project. So followed by the features, we need to write down the functionalities for that. The same. So whatever the features in the large scale solutions is called as epics. What we have done is we have created epics like denial management, claim management, integration management, claim scrubber, right? So billing, digital payment, scheduling, reporting, e-prescribing, right? So charge capture app. So all these things, telehealth, all these things were created as epics in the session. Now, what is that we have to do? We need to write some user stories because as I told you how to write user stories in the previous session. Like normally whenever we write a user story, we always write user story from the perspective of a customer or an end user. That's what generally user stories we write it. So when you are writing down a user story, we always write from the perspective of a customer. This is how it is. This is what the template we follow, right? Whoever they may be the user may be a customer, user may be an what we call user may be an admin, right? So whoever they are, user is a person. From that perspective, user story has to be written. So followed by user story, acceptance criteria. This is for the purpose of testing team because testing team has to understand for what reason and for what purpose we were writing. So that acceptance criteria is used for them so that they will be knowing about what are the conditions we need to satisfy in order to make this application, make this functionality successful. Now I'm writing user stories based upon the example what is that I have taken, right? So I have taken an example of creating a login page. So here I have taken an example as a system user. I want you to create login credentials so that I can use the system. So login credentials is what the action followed by the result is this. Now, based on this, we are writing user stories for the project. What is that we have taken? Okay. Now, the first one, denial management. Okay. Denial management. Creating an account. Right. So this is what it is. Now, we need to understand who is the user here. You need to contact the vendor to return the denial management functionality for your account. Add customer denial status and type according to the business flow. Create and send customer AP letters with just a few clicks. Now, denial management managed by whom? This is the internal management which will be done by the admin team. So, what is that we have to do? We need to contact the vendor to return the denial management functionality for the account. So, here what is that we require? Create an account is what is needed. So, this is being managed by admin. Now, here we need to write a functionality as a user story by clicking on here, create child issue, right? Just click on it. As a admin, I want you to create login credentials so that I can use the system, right? So this is what we have written for creating an account, right? So it is required. Next, creating API letters. creating APL letters and all everything is what we need to have here, right? So create and send APL letters with just a few clicks is what the other functionality. Now for that you need to write an you need to write a user story for that as well. So who wants to have this option? Again, admin, right? Create and send customized API letters with just few clicks. So as a admin, I want you to create. I want you to create uh, a customized API letter, customized to customized API letter, so that I can create when I require. Okay, so these are the two functionalities we have written as a form of user story. So these two are comes under denial management. So as you see, a denial management is a epic. Under epic, you are writing down two different functionalities in a form of user stories, right? So this is what we have done here. Now again, we need to write user stories, being because business analyst will turn most of the times as a product owner. So if you are a product owner, what is that you have to do? First of all, you need to create a roadmap and you have to manage the backlog. So these are the two major tasks being a product owner. Business analyst turned product owner you do. So whatever the user stories are we writing, so all these things you can see will be stored on the backlog. Okay, that's how it is happens. Now, the first one, the denial management done. The next was claim management. What was that? Create and send claims through the billing dashboard. You need to add place of services, service date, rendering, providing, billing provider, fee schedule, so and so, right? So claim management. So for this, what is that the functionalities? We have to create two functionalities. One is creation and creating and processing claims. At the same time, dashboard creation. This is are the two things. Now, who create and process claims? For example, backend team are doing all that, right? So backend team used to send claims, all this stuff. Now, here we need to write a user story as follows. As in backend team, we want to have a connect with claim management system, because there are different applications, claim management, right? So claim management system. So that right, so that we can create and process the claims. Next, dashboard creation. As a backend team, I want you to create so that we can see the activities, so that we can see the activities. What are that we are performing? Okay, this is the second point. Now integration. So integration is tracking claims, right? So the vendor offers integration with Change Care Healthcare. Save your time and spend tracking claim prompts. You can access ERAs directly from your account after insurance company release reimbursements, helping to improve your financial cycle. Now, tracking claims. Who will track the claims? Who will track the claims? Backend team will only track the claims. Now, can you tell us like what is that we have to write for this tracking claims? Tracking claims. Okay, tracking claims. So here, as a integration, as a backend team, we want you to create. We want you to create a claim tracking system so that we can track the claims. Okay. Now, tracking payments. Tracking payments. As a backend team, we want you to create a payment gateway, right? So because through payment gateway, payments will be made, right? So create a payment gateway so that we can track the payments. Okay. Now, next, accessing ERAs, right? You can access ERAs directly from your account after insurance company release reimbursements, right? So you can access the ERAs, right? As a backend team. So user may be anyone, right? So backend team I'm talking about, right? So there may be a lot of people who are involved, right? It could be as a backend team. I want you to create an access to ERAs so that after insurance company release reimbursement so that we can see the reimbursements which were released, right? So which are released. This is one, right? So this was which was released. So this is one more user story. Now, next claim scrubber. So what is claims scrubber? Sending claims, right? So automatically send claims to the claim scrubber queue before forwarding them to the clearinghouse, ensuring quick reimbursement so that you can track the claim status in real time through the encounters tab. Sorry, I didn't get you. Yeah, here is a question from Dina, who is a backend team. So to whom we are developing this application, yesterday I have explained, right? So to whom we are developing this application, there is an explanation given yesterday. Healthcare organization, right? So for a healthcare organization, there is an application we are developing. So who is a backend team here? Employees of the healthcare. Simple. Because they are the one who is processing the claims to the insurance company and they are expecting a reimbursement from that. I think you understood me. Right. Next point. I think developers, I'm thinking maybe Java developer, but not sure. See, developer means who develop the code. Okay. It could be any programming language. It need not be a Java program. Right? So who develop the code called developer. That's it. Simple to understand. Okay. Right. So this is what we have. Next is after integration we have done. Next after integration, claim scrubber. Automatically send claims to the claim scrubber queue before forwarding them to the clearing the houses, ensuring quick reimbursements. You can track claim status in real through the encounters tab. Now, who will process these claim scrubbers? Backend team only, because they are the one who is sending claims and all everything to the insurance company. How they do it? Through claim scrubbing queue, they are sending these things. So sending claims, right? So what is that we have to create? Claim scrubber queue has to be created to send the claims, right? So as a backend team, we want you to create claim scrubbing queue. Claim scrubbing queue. So that we can send claims. Okay. Next, claim status, right? So you can track claim status in real time through encounters tab. So creating an encounter tab is required to review that to track the claim status. As a backend team, we want you to create an encounter tab. We want to create an encounter tab so that we can track the claim. We can track the claim status. Done. Right. So claim scrubber done. Next, billing. Right. Next, billing. Generate activity reports to review pending balances, total charges, adjustments, and write-offs. You can exclude unbilled encounters. If you want solidified results, export data to CSV to quick access. Again, billing will be generated by the accounts team, maybe, right? So account team, let us change it to account team, right? So account team, accounts team will take care of all the billing all that stuff. Now, view reports, right? So you want to view the reports. Billing team. As a billing team, we want, right? Not by individual. We want you to create, reporting report, customized report page, customized, because whatever is required we can see that in this. That's the reason customization is required, right? So customized report so that we can view the reports. Next, exporting of data. Right? So exporting of data is what we have to do, because data to CSV format, all the formats. You can exclude the unbilled amounts and solidified. Export data to CSV format for quick access, right? So we need to create a link to export the data to CSV, right? Right. So export data to CSV format. So export CSV format means, as a billing team, we need you to create N. Need you to create an export data to CSV format link. We need you to create a link so that we can export the data. Export the data, either whichever the format, either it may be CSV file or what, or export the data for quick access. Right? Now, here is the question. Sometime back, I have told you, what does backend team means? For to whom we are developing this application? You guys first, you tell me this. To whom we are developing this application? Yesterday, I have given an explanation for about 15-20 minutes. What is that you have understood? What you have understood based on the explanation I have given yesterday, to whom we are developing this application called Quilient Integrated Practice Management for the hospitals or nothing but healthcare providers, right? So healthcare providers, hospitals, we are providing. And when you are developing an application for a healthcare provider, for a hospital, who are the users? Hospital staff are the users. Those people we call it as backend team. Backend staff. Somebody will be on the front side, right? To take appointments and all everything. Those people will be in the front end. Backend team means who do the activities and operations in the backend side, sending claims, receiving, all that. So those people we call it as backend team. See, there is no concept as developers. Why unnecessary? There is a word called developer was coming here. So there is nothing to developer, nothing to do with developer. Developer has to develop the functionality. We are developing an application for a healthcare management system. This functionality we are developing for a back hospital. Okay. For this functionality, who has to write the code? Developer has to write the code. So don't connect this backend team and developer in one line. For a hospital, you are developing an application. Okay. You are developing an application. Who are you? For example, I'm developing an application for a bank. I'm a business analyst turned product owner. Okay. What is that I'm doing? I'm gathering the requirements. I have written the requirements in a form of user story. This user story nothing but a functionality, right? For whom you are developing this? This is you are developing for a hospital. So to develop this functionality, I have written a user story. Who has to write the code for this? Developer has to write a code. Whichever the programming language they are using, that's a different thing. You guys understood, right? You are developing an Quilient integration practice management system. Assume that you're all, whoever are attending that session, assume that you're all belongs to the developer software company, right? I am the product owner. Let us understand this clear. We are developing an application for a hospital and healthcare organization. We means you and me at the same time. We are all should know about what are their requirements. I am the person, business analyst, or else as a product owner. I have gathered information from the hospital. I am writing all the functionalities in a form of user stories. This I am giving to you guys. You are the development team, testing team, whoever you may be. I am giving it to you. So you are the one who is going to develop the functionalities. Means you have to write a code for the functionality. For example, 1 plus 2 equal to 3. How you got that? Have you done any calculation on the system? You have written a code in back of it for addition of two systems, two numbers. Need not be a 1 plus 2. But you write a code for adding two numbers, adding two digits. So either it could be 1 plus 2 or it could be 500 plus 300. So there is a functionality which we have written. So that functionality has to be implemented by developing the code. Who has to do that? Developer has to do that. Did you understand? Here, backend team refer to customer, client. Product owner is a part of representative. Who are you? You are the development team. For example, you need to develop the functionality. How do you develop the functionality? I need to write a user story. That's what I am doing. Consider myself as a business analyst, product owner, or a client representative. What is that I am doing now? I am writing some functionalities, giving it to you. You guys were the development team or testing team, whichever it is. You have the responsibility to develop the functionality. Develop the functionality in what manner? Writing the code, testing the functionality, all that stuff. That's the total responsibility lies on you. Backend team referring to the customer. Yes, they have to use this functionality, right? So you are going to an ATM system, you are withdrawing money. Who are you? You are a customer. You are withdrawing money. How do you withdraw money? You are inserting the card. You are giving your PIN number, entering the amount. You are getting money. How you have got that? There was someone who has written a code for that particular functionality called withdrawing money. Someone has developed an ATM system application, which was there in the ATM system. So that being a user, you can easily access money, you can deposit money, you can raise a request, you can receive money. Sorry, you can withdraw money, you can deposit money. All this you're doing by following some instructions. Who has laid down that instructions? Is that being a customer you? No, you are just a user. That's the same way billing team is a user. If they want to develop, use some functionality, somebody has to create a code and all everything. That is nothing but development team or technical team has to do that. If technical team wants to do that, how come technical team know what functionalities? That a business analyst or itself turned as a product owner will write down the functionality. On what format? Normally in technical, in traditional format, I have shown you a couple of days back, like BRDs, all that. In business requirements, functional requirements documents will be prepared. Whereas when it comes to the agile environment, we are writing in a form of user story. I hope you guys have understood. Right. So billing team. Now we have written billing team, right, for the quick access, right? So this we have done. Now digital payments, online bill payment, right? Online bill payment. Now, for example, digital payments, we need to write for this. Now, digital payments allow patients to pay bills online via payment portal. Billing contacts can add and remove payment sources through the dashboard. In case we didn't add payment option, you will receive a prompt after a long gap in the app. Right? Digital payments. Digital payments, what is that? Here the functionality allow patients to pay bills online via patients portal. So here who is the user here? Customer. Excuse me. Customer is a user. Customer nothing but patient, because this is a hospital management system. Customer is a patient. Let me write down as a patient, customer, not on the name of patient. Okay, as a customer. Okay, as a customer for that hospital. As a customer, I want to pay bills online. Through what? Through patient portal. Okay. So as a customer, I am writing it as a customer rather than a patient. Okay, as a customer.
Raz, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Instead of writing as a customer or admin, can we write as a user?
Yeah, you
Define
can
it.
write as a user. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Thank
write
you.
as a user.
Thank you.
User means here to whom we are developing this functionality. This we are developing a functionality for a customer because he is the one who is paying bills online. Right? As a user. Okay, you can write. As a user, I want you to create. I want you to create. I want you to provide an access. I want you to provide a link to patient portal so that I can pay bills online. Right? So this is what we have written. This is for digital payments. Next, after that, scheduling. Auto send reminders to the patients. Means by someone. Who are they? Backend. Right? So auto send reminders to the patients via text, phone, email, or so and so. Sync with Google ICS calendar to schedule the resources such as meetings, treatment rooms, filter patient appointments day by day, all that. So this will be looking after by the front end team, for example, right? So back end team will send the claims, processes, all that. Now front end team, because these are the people who make calls, all that, right? So front end team or front end department, whatever the name it could be, customer service people, right? These people. So these people have to develop three: sending reminders, auto send reminders to the patients through different modes of communication. Right now, auto send reminders as a front office team, as a front office team. It is not something specified for one individual, right? I'm talking about team. So whoever are using that particular, whoever are there in that particular role, right? As a front office team, we want. Why I mentioned we means because it's a team. If I'm specifying one as an individual, I am using I. Okay, that's the difference. We want you to create. We want you to create auto reminder option so that uh, we can send reminders to the okay. Right. Next, sync calendar with Google or ICSS calendar to resource such as meetings, treatment rooms. Right. Sync calendar as a front office team. We want you to create a link to sync calendar so that uh, so that schedule resources to so that we can schedule the resources. Either resources may be meeting or treatment rooms, whatever it is, right? So that we can schedule resources. Now, next, filtering the appointments, filtering patient appointments day by days, weeks or months. Enable patients to check using this mobile app, filtering patient appointments. Uh, Using create a filter, right? As a front office team, we want you to create an option to a filter option so that we can see appointments day, weeks, or month wise. Okay, so this is what I have written. Schedule the step. After schedule, next reporting, right? Reporting. Generate reports, generate patient prescription and counter lab and quality measures to make sure smarter decisions. Create a syndromic surveillance list to categorize the patient according to the diagnosis. Okay, so generate reporting as a backend team. Right? So reporting will be done by the backend team or as a admin. Okay, maybe some other as admin. I want you to create. I want you to create a report system. A reporting system so that I can generate various reports. Okay. Next, one more. Create syndromic surveillance system for what? To list the categories of the patients according to their diagnosis. Right? As a admin, I want you to create a syndromic surveillance system. Syndromic surveillance system. Syndromic surveillance system. So that I categorize the patients according to their according to the diagnosis. According to the diagnosis. Right, so reporting done. Next, e-prescribing, view records, view patient medical histories to check all allergies to deliver value based. The product is EPSCS certified. View patients. Okay, this is also for admin team. Okay, as a maybe for e-prescribing, right? Medical histories. Maybe as a doctor, right? So as a doctor or a person who is treating patient, doctor. Because he's giving medicines, right? So as a doctor, I want you to create e-prescribed. I want you to create an e-prescribe option followed by the medical history of the patient so that that so that and here view patient medical histories to check for allergies. Value based products is it's not for view records. I think we have written wrong. Uh, Deliver care, right? So deliver value based care. This is what you require, right? Not for reports, right? So that call here history of the patient so that we can provide a value based care. Okay. Now, charge capture app, right? Charge capture app. So physicians can document, diagnosis, modify. Physicians like doctors or physicians right? So can document, diagnosis, modify codes and procedures to speed up the financial process. Bill patient for provide services for IO services. Okay, creating a repository. Creating a repository to document all this to the physician as a doctor, right? Other as a physician. Okay. That's capture app as a physician. Don't confuse. I have written there as a doctor, here as a physician. Okay. Either way, fine. Right? So both are same. Okay. Don't confuse here. As a physician, I want you to create a repository. I want you to create a repository so that I can document. So that I can document medical information, whichever it is, right? Simple, right? Next point. An option to manage these via apps, right? Which apps like iWord and Android. Right? As a physician, I want you to create an app so that I can billing patients to provide services, patient claims using so and so. So that bill patients for provided services and prevent claims denial, prevent claim denials. Okay, as a backend team, it's not by the patient, okay, physician. So first one is physician as a backend. So this is the backend team. We want you to create an app so that something relating to iOS or something so that we can provide services so that we can bill payments, bill we can perform billing, we can perform billing and prevent claim delays. Okay, it's done. Charge capture done. Next to telehealth. Telehealth. Schedule virtual sessions using a secure video conferencing platform like Docsmeet. Like it's a video conferencing platform. Use customizable smartphone tabs to patient record conversations. So this telehealth will be given by the physicians. Right? So as a physician, I want you to create a secure video conferencing platform. I want you to create a secure video conferencing platform so that uh, we can schedule virtual meetings. Next, creating customizable templates. Creating customizable templates. Create customizable templates. As a physician, I want you to create customized smartphones. So that smartphones so that we can record patients' conversations. Okay, so these are the functionalities which, being a product owner, I have written. Now these functionalities has to be developed by the development team. So whatever we have written on the roadmap, all these you can see in the back. How many functionalities we have written in a form of user stories? 22. Normally this is what we call it as issue. Issue may be a user story, or issue may be a bug, or issue may be an epic, issue may be an even task or a subtask, whatever it is. So we have written 22 issues which are there in the backlog, right? So being a product owner, if you are a business analyst, if you have turned yourself as a product owner, so you are working on behalf of the customer. So what is that you are doing? What customer wants, that you are creating as an epics, like denial management, claims integration, claims scrubber, all that. Followed by that, whatever the functionalities they want to perform in their business, means in the hospital, right, in the healthcare unit. So that you are writing as a functionality in a form of user story. So this functionality has to be developed by the development team. They have to write a code, they have to create user interfaces, do the testing, database designing, connecting databases. All these things has to be done by the development team. So that is their job. But development team wants to know, they must be knowing about what is to develop. So for that, we have written user story. Right, so clear to everyone? I mentioned this point as well, Vishnu. Why I here and not we? But to whom are you referring this? See, because billing team, front-end team will be multiple. That's the reason why whenever I'm using there, I'm using as we. Means we, because billing team may be multiple people are involved, right? That's the reason I have used as we. So when we are talking about, when we are addressing physician or an admin, usually one individual, either it may be one individual, will have that control. because admin control won't be there for everyone, right? Admin control will be only for limited people. So hence we are using it as we. Sorry, I. That is the difference. See, because for example, as a customer is who? Customer can be anyone, right? For example, you are withdrawing money from an ATM system. As a customer, I want you to create an option to withdraw money. That's what you're saying. Option to withdraw money means you need to lay down a process. What was that? You have to put and insert the card. You remember, I have shown you sequence diagram. When I'm preparing UML diagrams, there I have explained by taking an example. You might have observed it, right? So I have shown that time. Use case sequence diagram when I have prepared, I have shown. Right. So because normally in traditional models we do that. But whereas here we don't have all this required. So that we are writing down user stories. This is how generally you are creating a roadmap followed by this functionality. So whatever the functionalities we have, all these things will be seen as a backlog. So what is backlog? Backlog nothing but a repository to store all the issues. From here onwards, Scrum team means development team will create sprints. They create sprint and they put all the user stories whichever they like, right? Based upon the need and interest, they will put all the user stories in this and they click on start sprint. For example, if this is the user story, for example, right? So this user story required now this function. Which one as a backend team, I want you to create login credentials. This is the functionality required now for the customer. Okay, we have taken this. For example, claim tracking and all is everything not required because we have not done any treatment so far, so that no claim management is required at this level. Maybe you may be required in future. So one more I can take. Scheduling, right? So front office team, I want to create a reminder to the patient not required. Create a link to Sync so that we can schedule the resources. Yes, this I require. This I may be required. What is that we are doing now? Now, what is that we have done? We have taken two sprints. We have taken two sprints, two user stories in this particular sprint. Now, these two functionalities has to be developed by the development team. That's what we call as Scrum team. So they have to develop it. How do they develop it? So they develop it by starting it the sprint, start sprint. When they are clicking on start sprint, what is that they have to give? They need to provide the duration. In how many weeks this has to be completed? Is this can be completed by them in 1 week time? 1 week means 5 working days. We calculate working days. 1 week means, right? 1 week equal to 5 working days. If there is any holidays and all everything, that also will be removed, as I told you earlier. Right? That will be removed. So 1 week, for example, 5 working days. In 5 working days, if these people are enough, right? So this is enough for them to develop. So they just click on 1 week. The schedule will be maintained here. They click on start. So that automatically sprint will start. So that will be looking after uh, by the Scrum team. Scrum team will take care of all the issues, all this stuff. So prior to this, that is we, business analyst and product owner has to write all the functionalities. Again, I'm repeating, when you're following traditional practices, you're writing down the document, something like BRDs, all that. When if we are following Agile, we are using a Jira. Jira is a prominent tool. We use Jira tool so that we can create roadmap, epics, user stories. Understood now? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Dina. Right. All these issues were we created by the business analyst. Usually in agile environment, business analyst will be as a product owner. Our role will be product owner. But because everybody will not become a product owner. That is based upon the team need. Team requirement needs, they will create a product. How we assign this task to individual? See, it is not individual employee. How we assign the task to the team? Team. We are talking about development team, right? Not employee. Don't write it as employee, right? Because we have to create functionalities. Development team has to do it. This functionality creation has to be done. So this task assignment they have to identify. They have to prioritize. Why? Because what functionality, what technical complexity this particular functionality has, who will be knowing this? For example, I've taken a issue, right? For example, what is an issue? As a admin, I want you to create customizable appeal letter so that I can create when I require. So this functionality has to develop it by whom? Development team. Right? Technical team has to develop the functionality for this. Who will say that this complexity? Who will say the complexity? Technical team will say the complexity, right? How much complexity, technical complexity, which is involved in this. So a decision will be taken by the team. Team has to take a decision on it. We don't assign, we create. And we say this is what my objective, this is what my objective wants to achieve. Based on the objective, what product owner wants to achieve, whatever the relevant user stories, that will be taken by the development team. Because they are the one who has to identify the complexity for this. Right? So because in Agile, it's an individual this thing. Team has to take a decision on everything. So there is no assigning kind of thing. We have created these functionalities. We tell this is what is required. For this functionality, I want this. That's what generally a business analyst or a product owner, whoever it may be, will say. This is what I want. Simple. Whether how to develop that, what complexity is this, when are we developing? Because based on the release, it has to be completed. For example, I am planning release in next 4 months. In this 4 month, what is to develop and all everything will be taken care of by the team itself, right? Not by the PO or someone, right? So business analyst won't say. Business analyst has given how to develop, all these things has to be taken care of by them. Next question from Rajesh Tripathi. Is it possible to assign tasks to individual employees in Jira? Again, I'm repeating, there is no individual, don't write as employee. Technical team. We are dealing with the technical team. Technical team has to write down the functionalities. Don't use those terminologies like employee, all that. Because why I'm specifying you, if you terminologies usage is important. We are assigning this task to the technical team. Usually we don't assign. They have to take, right? So which functionality and all everything they will be knowing. But we'll tell them this is our deadline. Next 3 months, I want this. Okay, whatever the issues they have taken is absolutely the choice of the team. Development teams, this thing, right? So we are not assigning. They have to take. They have to take their own call on it. Right. Can you explain about the sprint, how to create and why sprint? So why sprint? Because this is your question from Kanik. Okay, I'll address your question. Wait a second. So after this, all this issue, do they send it back to the solution or the team? See, once, for example, that functionality is completed, automatically it will be done. It will go to the code. It will go to the release. It will stay in the release. Once couple of functionalities we have completed, we do the release. That's what I'll tell you in tomorrow. So what is that your question? Means for Dina question and as well as for Kani about sprint, how to create, that I will tell you tomorrow. If you want to create sprint, first what is that you have to do? First of all, what is that you have done now? You have created epics, you have written user stories, right? So this is done. Now for this, what is that we have to do? We have to do the release first, because whatever the issues I have written, for example, this is 22 issues I have created. All these 22 issues may not be required for the customer in the first release. Assume that the first release in next 2 months. First release in next 2 months. All these were not required for the customer. All these were not required for the customer. Now, what is that we have to do? What is that we require in the first release is what we have to plan. Now, when is the first release? For example, today we are creating a release. Now, product owner, what product owner say? Product owner has to do the release part. So here we need to enable the release. So here you can have an option called project settings. Go there, features. Here you enable the release. Releases, right? Releases. Enable. Back to the project. So you have to set the release first.
Yeah, can
What
you show
have
the
done-
release? Can you show the release again?
1 minute. I will do it. Wait for a second.
Okay.
Right. So here is the roadmap. What is that we did? We have created Epic. We have written the user stories. Now there is an option called release here. How come this option we have got? You have to go to the project settings. You have to go to the features. Whatever the features you required on the board, that you have to enable here. If you disable, it won't appear. Earlier, release was not appeared. Release was not there. Release was not there. Right? Release was disabled. So what is that I did is I have created as enabled, so that you can see the release. Option called release. Option called release. Now you are clicking on release. You are clicking on release. Create a version. First release. First release, for example, release 1. For example, release 1. Right? Right? Release 1. So when is the start date? 23rd September to October, November 23rd. 2 months. November 23rd is the release date. See. So in these 2 months, 2 months means almost 4 into 2, 8 weeks, right? 8 weeks. In 8 weeks, what are the backlog? What are the issues to be created? What are the issues to be completed? That we conduct in the sprint. How to create the sprint, I will tell you tomorrow. Right? So what we have done now, we have done creating of Epic. Being a business analyst and product owner, you have written user stories. Next, release date we are planning in next 2 months. First release number 1. Right? Release 1 we have planned, that we are informing to the technical team that from today onwards, by November 20th, 23rd, we want first release. Now development team will ask you, what are the things you want in the first release? They will ask us. So that for that, sprint planning has to be done by the usually initiated by the product owner. Decision like what user stories to be taken on the first sprint and all will be taken care of by the development team. So how to create sprints? Because tomorrow is the final this thing. So how to create sprints and all of the thing, I'll show you tomorrow, not today. Yeah. Yeah, Ashima. Yeah, few more questions here. Yeah, how to create sprint and how to create Kani. This I am showing tomorrow. Okay, your question will be answered tomorrow.
Okay,
Tomorrow
thank you.
is the last session. There I'll tell you. Right. So your question will be addressed tomorrow. Please be noted. Next, Dina question. So they solve this issue to that, and then yeah. So obviously, whenever they have written the code, here you can see an option called coding. Here you can see an option called code, right? Bitbucket. There is a tool called Bitbucket. So in this Bitbucket, if you are connecting Bitbucket, whatever the code they have completed, it will be put it on the Bitbucket app. From here onwards, testing team will do the testing. So if they have identified anything, they will create a bug and they will again give it to the technical team. Again, they will rework on it and we will correct it. That's a procedure we follow. For example, you have done the task. For example, what is that you do? You are sending an assignment to me. What am I doing now? I am reviewing assignment. I am sending you the points, right? These points to be cross-checked by you. Again, you are doing it. Again, you are resending that. Am I doing? You are doing this or not? The same thing happens here. So developer will write the code, give to the testing team. Testing team will test the functionalities. If everything is fine, happy. Otherwise, they have to write down what are the errors. Again, technical team has to do the corrections. All the coding will be stored in this Bitbucket app that has to be connected with Jira. So technical team will take care of that. Not, it is nothing to do with the role of yours, right? So they takes care of. Next question. Anshika. So epics are usually short. You mean words like you explained? Yeah. Epics nothing but large scale of solution, right? You can write it near to the sentence, half a sentence. That way also you can write epics. Next. I was trying to Ashima. Next, I was trying to find backlog on Jira board. I couldn't get it. But how can I? How can I? Yeah, tomorrow is the last session, Subham Sharma. Yes. Now, see, Ashima, for your question, answer is here you have an option called, see, for example, you don't see board, right? For example, you don't see any backlog, right? For example, in your system, right? Normally, what will happen? You have to go again. I'm saying project settings. You have an option called features. You have to enable here. See, the backlog was enabled. You can see my backlog was enabled. If I disable it, you won't see. So that you have to go for project settings, features, and what are the features you require, you have to enable all this. Then only you will get it. Otherwise, you don't show. It won't show on the screen. You have to enable here. That we have to see. Yeah, from Subham Sharma. Yes, tomorrow is the last session for our training. So there I'll show you how to create sprints, all that stuff, right? Why and all. Next, this is Pradeep Shrestha. Is Bitbucket an extension? Yeah. That extension you can add it to the Jira because these are the cloud accounts. Some are paid and some are trial versions. Both are available. Because see, nobody will give you free of cost. Simple, right? So they'll give you free of cost, maybe trial version for 30 days or so. After that, billing will be generated. So if you are clicking on Bitbucket, automatically Bitbucket will connect to Jira. So if someone that configurations, normally these configurations will be done by the Jira admin team. There is an administration team who will be taking care of all that. They do all that. Right. So next question. What about if we need to connect you for a clear, oh, sorry. This is not a question. Okay. Connect you for a clear the doubts regarding the course after tomorrow. So you can email. You can contact Manik so that Manik will create an option for that. Next, can you please tell what are the topics we need to focus for exam? And will you provide some model questions too? As I told you a couple of times even earlier, I don't know the pattern. So it's the best thing is that you speak to. Whatever I have learned so far, whatever I have taught you so far, please go through all this and get it prepared. So what type of question paper is this? Model questions. Even I to don't know. Because I am here for training. That's it. So after class ends tomorrow, and we have small questions or queries in the future, can we reach you? Right. There is a system. I think Manik will tell you. You can email me or something so that I will send you the answers. That we can do an email something. Through email we can. Are we doing review tomorrow? Yes. Once I'll tell you how to create sprint planning and all. Then, if you have any questions, you can ask. I'll just review everything and we will proceed. Okay. Next, do we have any practice exam question and answers? Yeah, that I have told you, right? So all this you can speak to Mani so that he's the right person to say all that, not me. So any interview related things I will see, right? So interview question and answers kind of related to you. I will forward. I will post it in the just in the chat box or somewhere. I will do it. Otherwise, I'll share it to Mani. Mani will share it to you guys. That we can do. What is meant by sample questions for you tomorrow? What is meant by sample question? You are asking about the exam pattern. So if this is an exam pattern, as I mentioned you, that is not been taken care of by me. Right? So exam conducting pattern, everything, Manik team will decide, not me, because my involvement won't be there. Tomorrow we have class. Tomorrow is Friday for you, right? Friday evening. Friday evening for you tomorrow. So we have class. Tomorrow is the last session. What is BA sample questions? I didn't understand. Just like you told us before, you will show us this BA sample questions. What I have told sample questions means. You're talking about frequently asked questions, FAQs. If it is FAQs, I will share it to Mark. If I think that is your question. Yeah, I mean on Saturday. Saturday of mine, yes, we have. That's the last session. Friday evening, Saturday morning for me. That's the last session tomorrow. I will show you. And any questions, I will answer. So BA only use Jira for software. In Agile, you are using Jira. Whereas in normal traditional model and all, I shown you already Star UML software. I have installed, right? A tool for preparing UML diagrams. All these you prepare in when you follow regular model. When you follow Agile, Jira will be used. That is the difference. Okay, guys. See you then. Thank you. Okay. We'll meet tomorrow and we discuss about what is sprint, why sprint. Because release we have planned, right? Release planning, date we have fixed. We'll discuss the remaining points tomorrow and we'll proceed. See you then. Bye.